Patrick Yoes. He is the national president of the Fraternal Order of Police, the nation's largest police union. So let me just ask you, your organization tonight called the trial fair, said the system of justice has worked as it should. Do you believe the jury got it right in the case of Derek Chauvin with the guilty on all 3 counts?
Well, I can tell you that as a law enforcement officer, we were probably one of the first organizations that stepped forward and said, this just doesn't look right. And we knew that, and we had full faith in the criminal justice system. There was a trial. In the trial, all the evidence was put forth, and now we have a verdict. And now we can go one step closer to getting past this very dark day in American history. We're very much committed in having these open dialogues and finding a path forward, so we can have a better criminal justice system.
So, President Biden obviously says the verdict sends a message no one should be above the law. So what message do you think this verdict sends to police officers across the country tonight who, like every other American, were watching this trial and, of course, in their case, on tenterhooks, not knowing what they would be seeing tonight? But what's the message that they get from this?
Well, I think we need to recognize one thing, and that is there are about 800,000 men and women who put on a uniform every day and go out and protect their communities.
Yep.
And this doesn't define the actions of the men and women who have dedicated their life to the protection of their communities. So I think all of us in law enforcement very much recognize that there are consequences to our actions, and we have faith in the criminal justice system. In this case, the system, the trial took place. All the evidence was presented. A jury of his peers made a finding. So, I think all of us in law enforcement respect that. That's the world we live in.
It is. Now, let me just ask you, because obviously part of the problem here that exists, right, is a distrust that exists between some Americans and some police, right? Our own Omar Jimenez tweeted out tonight a copy of the initial statement from the Minneapolis Police Department upon Floyd's death that I think makes this point, because the title is, quote, "Man dies after medical incident during police interaction." Says Floyd physically resisted officers. It says that the officers noted he was suffering medical distress and called for an ambulance. Man dies in medical incident during police interaction is not what happened, and it's obviously not what we all then saw on video. So what do you make of that, right? That's what the world might have thought if it weren't for the video that came out, the 9 minutes and 29 seconds of Derek Chauvin's knee on George Floyd's neck. Does that concern you that a statement like that could have stood as the record?
Well, I mean, look, it absolutely concerns me, and you bring up a very good point, and that is that the powers that a law enforcement agency has in communities all across this country is directly related to the trust we have within our communities. And if we can take nothing away from this, it is clear that we have a lot of work to do as a free society to come to terms with a lot of issues. And it's going to take us sitting at a table having some fact-based and meaningful discussions in order to be able to get past this.
All right. Well, Patrick, I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. And thanks very much.